Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a legend with us, Nuno Maduro. He have created a lot many tools like Paint, pa, Pale, and Paste. I don't know how many are there. I mean, we can count like infinite, right? So, Nuno, share something about you before we jump into the questions.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So, first of all, thank you so much for having me here today. Honestly, we have worked a bunch together in the past in various tools, including past PHP, but also on Pinkery.com. But we haven't actually had the opportunity to just be, talking with each other. So, being here today
Yeah,
is a total pleasure for me. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, for those who don't know me, my name is Nuno Maduro. I am a PHP and Laravel developer. I am
yeah.
core team member at the Laravel team. I have created some of the tools that Puyapal mentioned, and I'm also a YouTuber recently. So I'm also creating content about PHP, just like Puyapal.
Oh, thanks. Okay, so we will go in a way like we will start with non-technical, then we'll go
Hmm.
technical, and then rapid fire, right? So
Okay.
let's start with the first question. It will be like displayed there. What does your day look like?
Yeah, I do get that question a lot, by the way. During my live streams, one of the many questions that come to me literally every single live stream is like how my day looks like. There is nothing special into it besides that I wake up every single day at 10 a.m. and I work until 12. I have lunch. I work until 3 p.m. Then I go to the gym for an hour, typically 1 hour and a half. Then I come back home. I stream, and then after the stream, I finish whatever I have to finish at work. Um, spend some time with my wife, and that's it. So I do that for every single weekday, meaning Monday to Friday. At weekends, it really depends. If I'm a little bit tired, I may go for do something else, like gaming or just go outside, whatever. If I'm feeling up to work, I do work a little bit. I don't know about you, Puyapal, but sometimes working for me doesn't feel like work. It just feels like obi,
Yeah,
like I actually have fun.
yeah,
I guess
same,
with you
same.
it's the same thing. I remember you contributing to Pinkery a lot during weekends too. So
Yeah,
I assume for you it's the same thing, right?
yeah. Actually, Pinkery was like kind of a thing which I wanted to do a lot.
You see,
So yeah,
and you do it also outside of your regular work. So you kind of
yeah,
understand me there too.
yeah. It was like I come from the home and I just have 2 hours before sleep,
Hmm.
and I almost use almost all of the 2 hours in a Pinkery.
Yeah. And you know what? I
So
think like that's the special thing about our line of work is that it
yeah,
doesn't feel like work. And then I feel an absolutely privileged on my life just because I
yeah,
wake up, I have a sip of coffee, and it just feels amazing to go to my laptop. It's just an incredible feeling, and we are just so lucky to have that, to be, lucky enough to have that privileged.
yeah. So we have our another question, which is how do you manage your all time between work, side projects, learning, family,
Hmm.
and do you ever take breaks?
Yeah, so again, I kind of explained you to my day already, but one of the things that I do that I think is a little bit different from other people is that when I'm doing something, I don't like waste time. For example, if I go to the gym, I'm gonna actually work out. I don't look at my phone, I don't do anything else. I am actually focusing on working out. If I'm working from 9 to 12, for example, in the morning, I'm actually working. I'm not spending time on Twitter. I'm not spending time watching a YouTube video or whatever. I'm actually just getting stuff done. So I feel like, if you actually take this mentality to kind of everything, not only work, but also gym, but, the
Mm,
relation with your partner, just, you get really productive. And today it's very easy to get distracted. It's very easy to find yourself on TikTok scrolling stuff or find yourself on YouTube shorts scrolling stuff. So,
yeah,
if you develop this mentality that, all right, I'm going to work for 3 hours, but I'm going to actually work for 3 hours, it feels like you worked 8 hours. I can tell you that.
yeah, 100%.
Same goes to the gym, man. Sometimes I'm going to the gym and I spend like an hour working out, and I work more than some people 3 hours because they just spend a lot of time on the cell phone or just doing something else. I don't know. It feels a little bit like that.
Yeah. Even like when you start once scrolling, you just forgot like what you were actually why you opened that app, right? You just start scrolling and it's just goes infinite.
Yeah, you can do
Like,
something that I do sometimes, which is
mhm,
I just don't put the phone next to me. I literally put the
mhm.
phone like uh, away from me, or I just
Yeah.
if I see that doesn't work, I just uninstall all apps. So then I
Oh,
just have literally,
that hurts.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't want to be distracted with Twitter and everything. So
Yeah. Okay, let's go with our next question, which is, do you ever think about doing full-time streaming, like 4 or 6 hours a day, or maybe eight?
yeah, obviously, like during this year, I get what I think went super successfully for me streaming this year. And if I wanted to go full time streaming, I could do it already if I wanted to.
Oh,
Meaning that in terms of money, I actually make enough money to have to live. The problem about that is that I also have a simple life, meaning that some people have huge cars, big cars, or good cars, or big homes, or
yeah,
things super expensive. I don't. I have a very minimal life. I don't have anything to pay literally, except my
yeah,
gym subscription, and that's it. And so if I wanted to live out of streaming, I could do it already. The question is that I'm still trying to understand if this is something I want to do for the next 20 years, for example. At the same time, I really enjoy like working for Laravel. I enjoy the stuff we do at Laravel. Always gives me good opportunities to learning, for developing better things, but also opportunities to grow. Like many of the things I've accomplished in life were thanks to Laravel. In the sense that I've went to a Laracon EU as a speaker, went to a Laracon US as a speaker. Um, Many of the packages that many of you use today kind of came
yeah,
from this opportunity at Laravel. So, I'm taking things slow, trying to understand like how do I feel about things, if I really wanted to go full stream or not. Maybe this streaming situation will just pass. Sometimes in the past I have changed my mind multiple times, man. Like I wanted to do a full product and then I just changed my mind and I wanted to do something else. So I change my mind all the time. I'm not afraid of saying it, and I want to make sure that if I do a move, I want the move to be right. So for now, it's not the right move. I'm not ready yet to do something like that, and I don't think if I will ever be ready for something like that. So
yeah,
taking step by step, you know what I mean? How do you feel about
yeah,
streaming, by the way, Piapal? You are streaming too, right?
yeah.
And do you
I
like it?
mean, it's yeah, I like it because when you're doing stream, like, so the person in comments can help you as well, right? If you're stuck
Mm-hmm.
somewhere, if you're missing something, right?
Yeah.
So you can also get support from the comments, and even see if you're, and also you're sharing, right, with everyone.
Mm-hmm. I think
So
streaming
what we
Puyapal
do,
is also giving you something that you will probably not noticing now, but it will notice in the future, which is some baggage of being a better speaker, meaning that you are
oh yeah,
practicing your English every single live stream. You are practicing being in front of people every single live stream. And before you notice, like, next day you go to a conference and you will feel way more comfortable because you have
yeah,
all this experience already. And I felt that, like, at LANACON US, the last time I was a speaker there, I noticed that, oh, holy shit, I'm just way more comfortable right now on stage because I've been doing this for the last six months of being on video
yeah,
to people on YouTube. So, brings you a lot of soft skills, like these skills of speaking with people, not being afraid of being on camera. That's a skill
yeah,
that you don't get anywhere besides of actually being on camera. So, so that's something that also live streaming is bringing
yeah.
to me.
I agree with you because I started speaking those like, right, or little bit lesser than before I used to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah. But it also like I knew your live streams from the past, and I see your live streams right now, and I see you now on camera, and it's like you are constantly improving. And it doesn't stop. No, like you will get better
Yeah,
and better and better and better. Today is the camera, next day is the microphone, next day is your English, the next day will be something else, and you are constantly improving to the point that you just become really good at it. So
yeah.
congratulations to you too, man.
Okay, so uh, this is our next question.
Hmm.
Maybe you already answered it a lot of time, but how did you get job at Laravel?
Do you know the answer?
What I remember is So while you was actually on a Laracon US and you asked Taylor that I want to
No,
do,
no, no, no,
yeah,
no.
kind of.
So
How?
no, 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 no. So basically, I was in Paris working for a company called Algolia, which is a search
Algolia, yeah.
company that powers the driver in Laravel Scout. If you have used it already, and I was working at Algolia. At Algolia, I've done multiple projects. I've worked with PHP and Laravel, but then I spent like 2 years working in JavaScript. So I was doing like TypeScript, JavaScript, Node, like all just a regular professional JavaScript developer. And at night, I was doing PHP and Laravel, you know. So I really wanted to just move and be full time Laravel and PHP developer because that's where my friends were. You know, all my friends from Belgium, from Spain, from Portugal too, and even in France, I was literally hanging out with Laravel people all the time. So I wanted to be a Laravel developer. At the same time, I wanted to move back to Portugal. So I just thought, all right, this will be just the perfect opportunity. I applied to Laravel, and on the same afternoon, Taylor replied back saying, all right, I think you will be a good fit. What are your salary expectations? And I just said, whatever you want, man. I just want to join Laravel, and he got me in. So
Yeah.
that's the story. I literally applied to Laravel as a regular, as a regular developer. I applied there, and on that afternoon, I got hired by Laravel to work on Laravel Vapor at the time.
Oh,
But then within Laravel, I've worked on kind of everything already. So I've worked on Vapor, I've worked on Laravel Forge, I have worked on open
yeah.
source, I've worked on now I'm
Pint.
working on AI.
Yep.
Yeah, so Laravel gives me. It's been 5 years too, so I kind of have to move around.
Yeah. Even I remember that I was watching your interview. It was 8 years back, and you was talking about Laravel Zero and collision. So I
Oh
mean,
my god, that was the days, man. You know, I got excited because I've developed some stuff on the console. Those the days.
yeah,
I kind of, I kind of remind myself sometimes that that passion of just being on a laptop developing terminal stuff or developing small things, it's kind of important to keep it. You know what I mean? It's very easy, like, to get not frustrated, but to
yeah,
get not to lose a little bit of passion over time with stuff. So you kind of want to remind yourself where you came from, like why do I like the things I'm doing at the moment. So because without passion, you cannot actually do anything. So you kind of have to be passionate about the stuff you do.
yeah. So sometimes you also need to say no to some things, right? Because you
Oh
don't.
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, as you talked about the AI, so our next question is like, how do you use AI in your daily work?
Yeah, good question. I kind of want to do a video about that because I feel
How?
like at the moment a lot of people there is I think a lot of people it's like common sense at the moment that people should be using AI for coding, I think, like, in general, if you are not using AI for developing your coding tasks, you are literally losing productivity. Meaning that I'm using AI for actually crafting code, and I am like 30 to 40% faster, easy. You know. So the way developers use AI, though, I think you see developers using AI in one form where they get 20% increase in productivity, but at the same time you see other people with 60% of productivity or more. Now, the way I use AI personally, I have three cloth code sessions at the same time, and I'm crafting stuff as soon as possible. So I have, for example,
Yeah.
one session dedicated to fix PHP stand types, another session dedicated to just write tests for a specific feature that I missed, another session working on a new feature I'm working on. So
Oh,
I have multiple sessions with Cloud Code, meaning agents, not
yeah.
GitHub Copilot auto completion. I'm talking about actual agents that
Yeah.
are able to change code and run things and go to the web and download stuff. So actually, we're doing stuff. So I have three
Yeah.
Cloud Code sessions open, and that's the way I use AI locally for development, at least.
Yeah.
And obviously, I also use AI for other things in my life.
Yeah.
Gym questions. I obviously go to ChatGPT. If I have a question about anything else that I'm not an expert on, I always go to
Yeah.
regular prompting, and I think everyone does at the moment. So
Yeah.
I kind of want to develop a video though to my YouTube channel where I just show, all right, how exactly do I use Cloud Code at my work at the moment, and I kind of show this workflow because I barely write code at the moment. Like I don't actually. I think like I just opened PHP Storm at the moment just for the streams because
Yeah.
during my day at actual work I don't open. I'm working with Cloud Code all the time, just agents and prompting. That's it. That's the only thing I
Oh,
do. One of the questions that people are a little bit skeptic about this may have is that, well, how do you fix code? And the way it is just ask AI to do it. I have good guidelines and I just work with AI all the time
yeah.
until I'm happy with the pull request, meaning that I always validate the pull request at the very end, make sure that the AI is happy um, with make sure I'm happy with the code being sent to GitHub. So that's the way I use
Yeah.
AI. Do you use AI that
Yeah.
way, Puyapal, or not really? How do you use AI, Puyapal?
Oh, I'm using very less AI at the moment. Like I just do a lot of work manually, and I just ask repeated tasks to AI. Right. Also, what I understand is you made your cloud code look like dev in AI. It is like three dev in AI software engineers are there. One is
Exactly.
breaking the one is
Yep.
breaking the CI, and one is making like sure that it is breaking correctly, and one is fixing the CI.
Yeah, so that's the way I'm productive that way with AI. So I feel like,
Yeah,
and I wanted to ask you, like, how do you use AI personally? Do you also have multiple sessions? Do you have just GitHub Copilot? How exactly do you use
I'm
AI,
just
Puevo?
using Copilot. Yeah, that's it.
But this
Nothing
Copilot
else.
can go to different files and also perform
Yeah,
modifications. It does act like an agent.
yeah. So
Interesting.
basically,
Okay.
I'm using Claude 4.5.
Oh, with GitHub Copilot.
Yes.
That's the confusion right now. Like it is UI interfaces, and you can choose the model. So they just,
Yeah.
but yeah, got it. So use it like me, basically.
Mm.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I don't know. It will be a shorter question, which is like,
Mm-hmm.
and what about Laravel team? How I mean they use AI?
Uh, I think some people are different. For example, Taylor Otwell doesn't actually use a lot of AI, from my understanding from the tweets. You see other
Yeah,
people, using AI like I do. I think Ashley from the Laravel team uses AI like I do. Probably that's why we are on the AI team at the
mixing.
moment.
Yeah,
And what else? Yeah, but that's I think like
yeah,
some of us are a little bit more crazy, using more sessions at the same time. Other
yeah,
people maybe use it a little bit less. In
yeah,
my opinion, I have been in both spectrums, and I do think like by not using AI, you are just wasting time at the moment. Meaning
yeah.
that
100%.
you are just way faster with AI at the moment. It's just you just need to be.
Yeah,
I think like for those who have not realized this already, it's because they have not found their way of prompting AI correctly, but also they don't have guidelines yet. The guidelines are like super
yeah,
important to make sure the craft code by Cloud Code matches your
yeah,
expectations. But also it depends from what you are crafting. Like if you are crafting a library that haven't been crafted already, obviously the AI will be less
yeah,
good. But if you are doing an app, like a pizza menu application or whatever, AI will be
yeah,
very good.
yeah. Even better for better than us. Like it knows the edge cases as well, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so next question is around PHP, which is like the new URA class in PHP 8.5 is super cool, right? And it is like doing swapping global function to clean OOP approach, right? So how do
Hmm.
you feel like it is heading to, I mean, good approach for the new modern web?
So just in general, before answering about the worry class first,
Yeah,
I'm happy with the PHP 8.5 release, just like I'm happy with the previous releases. I think it's a good release overall. It's bringing cool stuff, and PHP have been kind of consistent on major releases in the past, and I like that.
yeah,
I do think that in particular, the URI class is probably one of the features that I like the less, mainly because I don't agree with the API. So I've been public on my live stream about that. I think the API of the URI class is just I wouldn't call it broken, but I think could be better in the sense that in order to
Yeah.
fetch errors, you need to kind of pass arrays by references like back in the days. So I would probably have made that different. But besides that, I'm happy with the PHP 8.5 release. I think the pipe operator is a good addition. I think array
Yeah.
first, array last are also good additions coming to the scene. Um, there is no breaking changes that I can think about. So overall, good release, and props to the PHP
Yeah.
internal team.
100%. Okay, so it is the another question is also like about PHP. So what are your thoughts on making PHP strict type by default, like that declared strict type thing?
Okay, so um, the declare strict types by default is something that can never happen in the sense that if you were to do that, you are just breaking code, all the existing code that doesn't have that. So that will never happen. I do think that is potentially space here for making it optional at library level, meaning that you would go to
Oh yeah,
Composer, you would enable a flag, and then everything within the source directory would be automatically strict typed by default. So that I would like to see on the PHP scene.
yeah,
Applied globally to what all WordPress installations at the moment and everything is just it would be a total mistake, meaning that you would break a
yeah,
bunch of apps. However, I kind of see I kind of wish that PHP would be better compatible with Composer in
yeah.
general. Like
Oh
some of the options we enable on the PHP.ini. I see a world where if they were to be enabled on Composer.json, it would just be way better. Um,
yeah,
you know, um, so I would like to have declare strict types being enabled at that level. So everything within my app would be declared types by default. However, everything on vendor won't. And
no,
um, that's the way I see it. In general, I do use strict types all the time. I'm very vocal about strict typed code
yeah,
being important and how safe it is for the code I write. At Laravel, all my code is
yeah,
fully strict typed. Laravel Cloud was developed with strict types in mind, PHP stand in high levels. In every project I do at Laravel is like that. So, and
yeah,
people follow. So I guess it's a good thing.
yeah. Also, like I just got a thought that we should have option in a INI, or we can say the configuration level, that to
hmm
enable the strict types, and also we should have like kind of ignoring folders like vendor.
Right. I think like again, the directive should be at composer level and should only affect
Yeah,
the application you are working on and nothing at vendor level. And
yeah, 100%.
every single package at vendor level can then have that option too if they wanted to.
Correct. Okay, so here is the interesting question, right?
Tell me.
You don't advocate observers and events much, right? And can you tell
hmm
us more about event actions concept from the Pinkery? Like,
Um, yeah, absolutely. Um, so you have developed Pinkery with me, and I think like one of the many things I've realized is if you developed an application fully architectured based on events, what happens after a while is that things start happening, you don't know where they're coming from, meaning that you just lose track of the workflow of execution, let's call it this way. Meaning that
yeah,
imagine that you want to, and again, following the Pinkery example, and if you don't know Pinkery, by the way, for those of you who are watching us, Pinkery is a social media network, like Twitter, basically. And one of the many things people can do on Pinkery is posting a post, let's call it this way. Okay.
oh,
And on Pinkery at the moment, what's happening is that when you post a regular post, that's firing an event, call it post created. And then the various modules or various places within the app are going to listen to that event and then do other things. One of them might be notify the followers that there is a new post from Nuno.
yeah,
Other thing could be notify whatever, or just marking a status on the database as null, or there is all these various
yeah,
executions
mm,
happening in various different places. Now, what is the problem with that approach? And at least I found on that approach is that you just don't understand what's happening. It's just kind of hard. Sometimes you just want to create the post without notifications. It is just hard. You just lose track of everything. So after that, that experience with Pinkery, and by the way, this is important, the experience you get it from actually developing real world applications, not from, not from the theory. I have started to embrace this other approach called it the action pattern. Now, the action pattern is actually the opposite of events, meaning that instead of firing an event and just randomly see things happening, you just execute that action, and within that action you see exactly what will happen. Okay, so the post will be published, the database column will be set to null, and I'm going to notify his friends, and you get to see exactly
Yeah.
that within the action class. And what I've started noticing is that by developing applications like this, things just got way more clear. I can go to that particular action and see exactly what's
Yeah.
happening behind the scenes. It's just right there. Nothing is happening on other places. It's
Automatically.
literally right there.
Yeah.
And something I have also noticed, and I don't think in Pinkery we didn't got that chance, but on my apps, and Laravel Cloud is one of them, is that when it gets really interesting, is that when you start chaining actions, meaning that imagine that you have on the Laravel Cloud example, you have teams, applications, environments, deployments. So there is all this logic. And what you can do is that, okay, when people are creating an application, within the create application action, I'm going to also call the create environment action, which will also fire the first deployment. And you can see this workflow right in front of your eyes. So everything is
Yeah.
way more explicit. Everything is just way more testable because you know exactly what's happening as well. In general, big fan of the action pattern. I'm using it already on all my projects since that very first bad experience with Pinkery. And all the projects I've been working on are using actions. People Up, which is something I'm developing behind the scenes, but also, Laravel Cloud, other stuff within Laravel that we are working on. And yeah, I also know that big apps out there have migrated to actions too.
Yeah.
Laravel Forge is one of them. That's a real like world example of
Yeah.
a real application being migrated to actions. Laravel Forge is one of them, and many other apps. Even friends of mine told me that okay, the action pattern is absolutely the goat on this stuff. What do you think, Puya Paul? Do you use actions now? What do you feel
Yeah.
about that?
I'm using actions all the time right now, and even
Mm-hmm.
like uh, I don't even use other things. But when I want to run something in a background at that only moment, I just use jobs. Otherwise,
Mm.
action all the time. So yeah,
Mm.
it is the question. Like, are you using actions all the way, right? How did you manage those background things, which you don't wanna
Um,
like? I mean, face to user.
Yeah, so typically what happens is that everything goes through an action. So every entry point of the app, either that be a console, HTTP, or whatever, just go through actions. And then actions may fire background jobs or not. Sometimes I want to, let's say, um, post an application, post a post on Pinkery, but then I want to send an email. That email will be on background. So, everything goes through actions, and then actions may dispatch or not queue jobs
Yeah,
for continuing with the process. You know what I mean?
yeah, 100%. So that is one simple question, and it is also
Tell me.
related to. I mean, so I have heard that unit tests should not interact with the database and like
Yeah.
while you're stream. So do your unit tests interact with the database and why?
Yeah, they do all the time. So the way I write tests these days, I have three levels: a browser level, feature level, and unit level. The browser level is the obvious, uses Pest PHP browser plugin, play right behind the scenes, just actually click on stuff and, clicks on buttons, submit forms, everything. The feature level will kind of test in more granular way some of the endpoints that require granular testing. That might be, for example, a validation endpoint. That like creating a post on Pinkery, it's sometimes
Yeah,
way more complex than you may think. So we actually fire posts to that endpoint in the very frequent way with feature tests. Unit tests are more like for testing, let's call it, let me try to find an example. Like a model, for example. Imagine within a model, you want to make sure the snapshot of the to array doesn't change. That would
Yeah.
be a good example. You want to make sure the to array of that given model doesn't change over time. So I'm going to actually use the factory, interact with the database, get it back, and actually test the to array. So that interacts with the database. So what do
Yep.
I think? What I think I like to say to people is that don't overthink if your unit tests are reaching the database or not. And if they have to, make them touch the database. If they don't, it's okay as well. But don't over mock. Like I barely create mocks ever. I don't use mocks ever. So I think like in general, if you are mocking something, that's already like a red flag to me.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you know what I mean? And I'm like, I've created a framework. I'm super into testing, so I know what I'm saying. Typically, like when you
Yeah.
are mocking stuff, that's a red flag already.
Yeah.
If you are mocking stuff, that almost feels like to me that you are testing the implementation. Like you are saying, okay, action.
Yeah.
I'm testing this action. You are sending a mock over the constructor. That means you are testing the implementation of the action already. Which is not a good thing. You want to test the outcome, not the actual implementation.
Yeah.
you know but this is the type of sensibility that even if you ask me like, oh, but how do I do this and how do I do that, you will not, even if I answer you correctly, you don't get it. It's something that testing is something that comes with sensibility. It's like over time you just get good at that, and that's it.
Yeah. Even I mean, what I was saying. Okay, let's move to the next question. I just forgot what I was saying. Uh, so paste is already feature rich. What are you cooking for paste 5?
Oh my god, past four was so much work, dude, that
Yeah.
I barely want to think. I don't want to think anymore about past v5 at the moment. I think it's just too early, but also like it will
I
be
mean,
very difficult to outperform past v4 in terms of hype, in terms of actually feature set, because browser testing was something that people really wanted to, which is also interesting. Like you see other people. Atlantic US was actually a good example because you see people talking about AI and this AI thing and whatever, and then Nuno comes with browser testing, and everyone was like super excited, which is like a lesson if you think about that, because you might think like people really want to see like new stuff. They want to see like AI stuff and agents and whatever, but they got excited about browser testing. So it's like a lesson to people as well. Like people, even like did you saw like the DHH Omarchi thing?
yeah,
The
the Linux
Linux,
stuff.
Linux, yeah, the
Yeah.
Linux distribution.
Yeah.
Like nobody thought that making a Linux distribution in 2025 would be a good idea, and it is. People are super excited about that. And every time you see
Yeah.
stuff on the terminal, like Ashley recently tweeted, like taking a piano thing on the terminal, people got excited.
Animation.
Yeah, so that's a lesson for people who think that everything needs to be AI at the moment. It does not. But to answer your question, yeah, I don't have ideas for past five, man. There is a
Yeah.
likelihood that past five won't actually um, be a thing for the next year or two. Because, I mean, there is so much that a testing framework can have. And at the moment, it's kind of stable. So I don't know, man. I'm gonna think about that. I'm gonna try to find good stuff to put on the framework. But if I cannot find anything, I'm gonna not force it for sure.
Yeah. 100%. Even paste 4 has a lot of things. So
Yeah, it's
but
already
I
like one
heard.
of the
Yeah.
most complete testing frameworks in the world. Like if you compare
Yeah.
Pest with Jest or VTest, Pest is just way more complete at the moment. So
Yeah.
I think that's it, man. I think the
But
story of
but
Pest is either
yeah.
complete or close to completion very soon.
But I will say one thing. Your like I mean the point of view will change, right? So Taylor once said in a Laracon US that, and on every Laravel release we think that I cannot add anything new,
I
and every
know.
year I comes with new things, right?
I know.
So I
I
think
know.
you will do the same, right?
I think though, in my something I may do, and this is actually a possibility. I think it will be even before Laracon OS, is make past Pint, and also like this tooling I have developed, just better suited for AI in general.
Yeah.
Have a better format for AI, but also have an MCP built-in server within, meaning that the AI will be able to just interact with that MCP server and just go through the browser for you, for example, and actually perform assertions and things like that. So No, making Pest better agent compatible is something that will have to happen. So if that is
Yeah,
big enough, it could be potentially something for Pest v5. But I think that needs to happen before Laracon OS next year.
yeah. So right now we are talking about the releases, right? So let's talk about one thing, like what the first thing you do after pushing a big release.
I do a hotfix. Typically, a bug fix right
Yeah,
after.
yeah,
Now, the very first thing I do is grab a beer, man. Like honestly, just trying to celebrate a little bit. So
ex-
let's, for example, think about Past V4, which is something that took very months of this last year to make it right, preparing the talk for Laracon US and everything. So right after I've released Past V4, the first thing I did was just celebrating with friends. I was at Laravel Live Dinamark, I think. So I just grab a beer, nice food, just try to celebrate, enjoy the moment. So that's what I did. Um, that was a good one. That was a good one. I don't know what's
yeah,
coming for next year, but
yeah.
it will be difficult
I heard
to.
that. Yeah, I heard that you just visit the beach after the release.
I did what?
Visit the beach.
Yeah, I could do that. At that given
Yeah.
time, I was actually in Denmark, so I couldn't do it. But
Oh,
I was, I did celebrate. That's for sure.
okay. So this is the last question before rapid fire.
Hmm.
And oh, sorry, that is the wrong. Hmm. Yeah, this one. In your opinion, what's stopping Laravel from becoming the default choice for large companies instead of Java or .NET?
That's a good question. I do think large companies. I don't think. I'm sure that large companies are using PHP.
Yeah,
Not only Laravel, but actually PHP in general. They are using it. But they also use Laravel in these large companies. I think today, like the stack choice, always comes from, or typically comes from, the developers that are working on those things. Like the reality is that people make you think that, all right, I'm a senior developer. I'm gonna choose the stack, choose the language. Nobody does that. Like if you have worked with PHP for the last 10 years, you are going to choose PHP. If you have worked with Go for the last 10 years, you are going to choose Go. If you have done Java, you are going to choose Java too. That's just the reality because you are more experienced with that. You are just familiar with everything. You know the ecosystem. You know kind of the full story. So if you need to develop an API, you know exactly how to do it. You know. Same goes right now. If someone would ask me like develop whatever, I would choose always Laravel to develop that thing, no matter what it is, because I can do it in Laravel. I'm 1,000% sure. Um, Now, in general, I think something that we are missing on the PHP industry is market influencers or dev influencers. Okay, so people that are doing what you are doing, and what am I doing, in what Povilas is doing, in what Aaron Francis is doing, like all these people who are putting themselves out there creating content. We need more like this and with more quality too. Okay, JavaScript have done this 10 years ago, meaning that 10 years ago, they started to convince all this industry of developers that serverless on Vercel or serverless with Next is the only thing that exists, and you should be using it. And they started this 10 years ago with YouTubers, with content influencers, with Instagrammers. And that's why today you see this new generation of kids that are like 18, 20, 22, 20, 24, and the only thing they see is JavaScript in front of their ads. And that's why if they go to big companies, I can tell you 1,000% sure they will also choose Node and JavaScript and TypeScript to develop their
yeah,
apps. So on the PHP ecosystem, we kind of need to think about this and think about this like right now, meaning that it's not only acknowledge that we need to do this, but actually say, okay, as a company owner, for example, I'm going to allocate this percentage of money just for content. I'm gonna hire a guy just to create content about PHP and about this and that, and I'm gonna contribute that way to the PHP world. So hopefully, with small approaches like this, we are going to see PHP being a better pick in the future. But I don't think we need to convince the existing industry that PHP is good because nobody is changing languages. That's just the reality. Like when people say languages are just something to have in the toolkit, that's just bullshit. If you are a Java developer, you will be developing Java for the rest of your life. If you are doing Rust, you will be Rust for the rest of your life, like and so forward. I know very few people who have changed languages. Very few people. So
Me.
ideally we need to invest on people to create content. And I've told this on my streams already. If you are someone watching from home and you want to create content around PHP, let me know. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to show you my tips. I'm going to just tell you everything I know and hopefully help you out with also promoting PHP as
Yeah.
one of the best languages in the world.
You help me a lot.
I do. Well, you help me too, man.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um,
It, okay. One thing is that like Laravel is also a PHP company, right? Everything is, I mean, based on PHP, and it's a big company, right? And
mhm.
it is also doing what you are saying. Like it has some YouTubers, right, to make content on Laravel around Laravel
Yeah, but I,
PHP.
I think Laravel does it the right way in the sense that
Yeah.
Laravel never told me, um, don't do that video on YouTube
Yeah.
or don't spend that time doing that video for YouTube. I have countless times taking, I'm going to take 1 or 2 Laravel hours to actually do a video about the MCP server or do a video about that or that. And, Laravel is very open about that. And that's a good thing. So I think other companies, they also need to kind of give some green cards sometimes so their developers can also try it out creating content. And being good at content is not something that you just learn over time, not something that you'll just learn in one day. I'm not still
Yeah.
good at making content. There's people like that are way better than me at the moment, and it just takes time. So hopefully, I think this is the best way people can contribute to PHP at the moment. PHP is a very good language, has a foundation already with very good features and everything. We really just need content. Like we need to promote the PHP language to the younger generation, so the younger generation will choose PHP instead of JavaScript or other languages.
Yeah.
Really.
100%. So let's get to our rapid fire round. First question is coffee or tea while coding?
So I should just answer just one answer, right? And that's it. Like really
Yeah.
fast.
Oh,
Okay, go
yeah.
ahead.
Really
So
fast.
okay,
Let's start it again. Okay. Coffee or tea while coding?
coffee,
Dark mode or light mode?
dark mode.
What is your favorite activity at gym?
Uh, maybe like chest day. Yeah, chest day. I think.
Oh. When are you visiting Africa?
No idea, honestly.
What is the favorite feature of current version of PHP? I mean, new versions.
Enums. I love enums. They're great.
Livewire or React?
Laravel or React?
Livewire or React?
Livewire React. Oh, I cannot answer both at
Tough.
the moment, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say React because it's what I'm choosing at the moment for my front ends.
How do you taste the page? Paste or PHP unit?
To test Pest, I use Pest PHP.
How? What is your favorite side projects other than Paste?
YouTube, I would say. Yeah, spending time on YouTube, I love it.
Why your most of the PHP project start with the P?
Wait, what?
Why your most of the projects start with the P?
Uh, no reason really. I just like
Yeah,
typically it's not, if you just take for example test and you put a p on it, there is nothing called pest like as a
yeah,
library because of the in pale was the same thing. You just take the t and you put a p and that's it. I think it's just something that happened and now I'm keeping to
yeah,
it. No really like good reason for it.
yeah. Pint and lint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm. One feature you wish you had built for Laravel.
uh I think like one of the things I would love to see on Laravel is automatically discovery of routing. I think the fact that we have to go to the web PHP and just declare all of the routes we give. It's kind of it's like old, it's like dinosaur area. We like nobody does that these days as and frameworks. Only Laravel at the moment, I think, does the web.php and just declare all the routes. I kind of wish people would embrace what we have done on Folio, which is automatically discovered, just you know
Yeah.
um, routing, and I kind of wish to see that on Laravel too. So that's something I made a pull request with that feature actually, and people were like, "No, and we don't
Yeah.
like that," and blah blah blah. I think it's a bad idea, man. I think people would like that, but yeah.
Yeah. So two things I can say is there is, I think, one package which is, or maybe script which is created by Thomas Waterba, which actually takes routes from the attributes and create the web.php. So you actually don't need to do it. And
Oh,
other is,
interesting.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
other is kind of similar to Pest, which is new framework, right,
Mm,
around PHP.
got you.
Okay, so the last question for the rapid fire.
Mm-hmm.
If not PHP, which language would you choose?
I would either choose Go or JavaScript at the moment. I think
Oh, no
Go
Rust.
is no Rust. Yeah, Rust is just too verbose for what I do. I kind of need to be fast with stuff. I think Rust is not there yet. I would go with Go probably, or JavaScript. Really, you know, JavaScript have many problems, but
Yeah,
they have a passionate community, which is something I think I belong to.
yeah,
So if it wasn't for JavaScript, probably would go for Go. Yeah, Go or JavaScript, one of them for sure.
yeah. So, my questions are over. So, do you want to take bonus questions,
Yeah,
like
if there
from
is
the comments?
yeah,
From
yeah,
the
go for it.
comments.
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay. So there is one question left from my list, which is okay. I'm not even able to find it from. Wait a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got it. Yeah. So you have built tools like Paste, Pint, Pale, and many. Like, how do you manage them all and decide what features to add into them?
Typically comes out of need, meaning that one example was when I've developed Pest and Pint, I forgot to think that those things may run on the CI, for example. So I needed the output to be a little bit more minimal for the CI. So I've developed the dash dash compact or dash dash CI option, which makes the output a little bit more minimal for the CI. So typically, when you have a need, so when you want to develop a feature for something, if you are just thinking randomly about ideas, is a bad idea. Meaning that you won't actually find good ideas from that experience. So a good idea always comes from actual needs. You are working on this project and you think, oh, would actually be very cool if past would be faster, for example. Instead of waiting 5 minutes, I want to wait, just 1 minute. That would be a good idea, right? So we just think on ideas to make that improvement.
Yeah.
Another idea was I found myself constantly. This is a feature that is like overrated at the moment, underrated, I mean, which is, do you know when you have to debug the status code coming from Laravel and you have to chain without exception handling? You familiar with that? So sometimes you have like you have a test, right? And you are just posting something, and that test returns a 500, but you don't get to see the error directly on the terminal. You just see the status code was expected was 404 or 200, for example, but you got a 500. So what you have to do is like you have to use this method called the without exception handling. And I found
Oh,
myself
yeah.
using that method all the time. Remember that? So I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I could just provide dash dash without exception handling directly on the console, and then we just get that automatically? So I did that option too. So out of need is something I would you know
Yeah.
advise people if they are looking for developing features. It's
Yeah.
what I do for Past and Pint.
Yeah. Even those dash V, dash double V, dash triple V, verbose thing, that is also help.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's how I do it. Yeah.
So there is one more question from the audience,
Go for
which
it.
is, should actions follow the single responsibility principle?
Yeah, they do. Meaning that if, if an action is typically the action has only one method, call it handle, and you kind of want to make sure that within that handle method, you have the responsibility that is assigned to the name of the action. So if the action is creating an article, the only thing you do inside is take the necessary steps to create an article and nothing else. So if that is single responsibility principle for you, I would say yes. So my actions are typically between 1 and 10 lines, not more than that. Um, so yeah, the answer is yes.
Okay, one more question. Maybe it's
Mhm.
for both of us. I don't know. Where are we at CLI social network?
Yeah, I can answer, and then you can add what do you think. I think I start working on it, and just like many things in my life, I have just said, all right, I think I'll just lost a little bit the motivation. I start developing something else. You picked it a little bit, so I don't know. What do you think?
Okay, so the thing is stopping me is which is I want to make Laravel prompts work with the term wide, right? Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, so that is a bit thing, and maybe I will make prompts for term wide at the end.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
think it's important to have Termwind working very well with prompts. Make sure we can have,
yeah,
a regular text area within the Laravel Blade component. So if we can make that happen, I think the project will be a little more smoother on the release, on the actually the feature development. It's
yeah,
already open source, so maybe maybe we should just find someone else which is interesting on this stuff. I am 1,000% sure that would be a successful project, though.
yeah.
So I don't know
Do you want to
if we
take more
do it.
questions?
Good. Kind of
Yeah,
have to go. So I think
yeah.
that will be it for me
One.
today, man. It was
Yeah.
really good to be here
Okay.
with you, though.
Yeah. Thanks for joining. I think it was an honor to interview you. Uh,
What are you
the
saying? It's an
person
honor for me, man, to
who
be
made
with you,
everything.
man.
Yeah.
People is a legend here, huh?
I don't know. Like it's you are. I mean, what to say? I just I have this issue. I just forgot the words when actually I need it. You know
Eh,
what I mean?
so you will be in
Yeah.
Laracon, India, right?
Yeah, I will be there, and many will be there. Right? Are you excited about the Laragon India?
Super excited. That's the conference I
And
really wanted to go
yeah,
again because I have a lot of fun last year. And I said to me, next year, if
yeah,
I'm going to skip some Laracon conferences next year, but Laracon India won't be one of them. So I literally told Vishal again, like, if you want to have me, I'm going to come again because I'm super happy to be back. Last year was so fun, man. Honestly,
yeah,
everything was just so fun. I couldn't stop laughing, and there is
yeah.
really something special about Laravel India community. They are so humble, so passionate about Laravel. So I want to be there again, and I will be there again, and it will be super fun to be with you again.
Yeah. So will you be wearing Laragon t-shirt?
Yeah, if you can have one for me, I'm gonna with pleasure use one.
Yeah,
I don't have any so far, so if you can, yeah, just
yeah,
just do one more for me
yeah.
with the M size, and I will definitely hear that
You
T-shirt.
know,
So,
these are rare t-shirts. There are only 8 or 10 in the world.
oh,
Yeah,
but you
you know.
cannot make more. You can make more, right?
Yeah, I we can make more. Right.
Yep.
Okay. I wanted to make pinkery t-shirt for you as well, but yeah, I will do
A
it
lot of
maybe.
gang, a lot of gang will be better, I think. So,
Yeah. Okay. So this is what for the today. Thanks everyone to join, and yeah, bye bye guys. See you
thank you,
next time.
everyone. Thank you.
Bye.